Tuesday night, Florida International and Liberty. We've got the Liberty Flames 17.5-point home favorites, 54.5 being the total here in this game. Now, Liberty is a team that in recent games, they have that look of a team that is starting to get their shit together, starting slowly to resemble, a large part of what we saw last year from this team. Explosive offensively, able to take over with the run game, wear their opponents down. It's exactly what they did to East Carolina, their last game, 35-24, before the bye week that they just had. Caden Salter had one of his better games at the quarterback spot. We know they've got a terrific running back in Quentin Cooley on this team, and they're able to run, they're able to throw, but run first is what they want to do. This goes back to when Jamie Chadwell was the head coach at Coastal. He's always a guy that wants offensively to have his team be able to run the football and be a run-first offense, and we're certainly seeing them showing signs of getting back to that. That, by the way, that East Carolina game, as fortuitous as it was for Liberty that they covered, they still got their first point spread cover in that 35-24 win against ECU. But I continue to look, C-Mac, at this schedule for them. Campbell, New Mexico State is one of the worst teams in FBS college football. UTEP, who's an absolute disaster. Okay? They had the scheduling spot of a lifetime gift wrap for them last week against Sam Houston, and they were inept. They were absolutely fucking inept and abysmal in that game with a schedule spot that was a dream spot for UTEP. And that's how bad they are right now. And, Liberty played them. And then they played an East Carolina team that I'm starting to think is just not very good this year. Because what happened to East Carolina on Saturday? Oh, yeah, they got blown out by Charlotte. Charlotte housed them, that East Carolina team. So I look at this Liberty schedule, and I'm saying to myself, what the fuck have you done? Nothing. They really haven't. They haven't played anybody good. They haven't beaten anybody good. Not a chance. These teams stink. These are some of the worst four teams. Well, East Carolina's not that bad, but they've totally underachieved this year. This is one of the worst schedules that I can think of to start your year, undefeated like Liberty has. Campbell, New Mexico State, UTEP, and a way overrated, overhyped ECU team. Are you shitting me? That's your 4-0 resume? I'm not buying this team. In fact, I took a piece of FIU, Connor Mack, in this game. I like Mike McIntyre. I think he's had a very, very tough job here to try to turn around a program that's been absolutely horrific before he got here. And, if you want to poke holes in schedules, I'll give you that. Florida International schedule's not exactly chock full of tough opponents either. Central Michigan and Florida Atlantic and Monmouth and Louisiana Tech in their last 4 games. But they did face Indiana, first game of the year. Very good Indiana team, and they lost 31-7, but they covered the number in defeat. The key for Florida International is, can the run defense be good enough? I like Kewan Jenkins. I think he's improving at the quarterback spot for this team, slowly but surely. He's cut down on his interceptions. His completion rate compared to last year has gone up. So those are all positives for FIU going into this game. But the big question is going to be, if you're going to hang in there and stay inside this number, C-Mac, it's the run defense. Because if you're not going to stop the run, you're going to have a very tough time against Liberty. And unfortunately for FIU, I don't love the numbers against the runs that I'm seeing here for them. You look at so far this year, they've given up 4.7 yards per carry, 186 rushing yards per game on the ground. So it's not great by any stretch of the imagination what we've seen from that Florida International run defense. That is my concern here. But telling you what, you look at Liberty and the East Carolina game, they were a single-digit favorite. This is still a Liberty team this year as a double-digit favorite, which they are here in this game, 0-3 against the spread this year. So clearly they've been a little bit overvalued. So, I don't think the matchup is the absolute best one for the Panthers in this game, the Golden Panthers of FIU, but I'm still taking the points here with FIU in this game. Again, Liberty has got one of the softest, most cream puff 4-0 starts that you will ever see to a college football season. Campbell, UTEP, New Mexico State, those 3 are awful. And even the East Carolina win, there's some shine off that win because of how East Carolina just got blown out and whipped by Charlotte over the weekend. So, and Charlotte's not been a very good team until they played East Carolina. So I'm leaning FIU here. Not just lean. I did grab a small piece of FIU plus the points. CMAC, what do you think here? FIU Liberty.
Yeah, I mean, is this like after the bye? Is this when Liberty's just going to all of a sudden wake up? I mean,
Don't forget how bad they were in the first half against East Carolina. It wasn't until the second half of that game they got going. They were down at halftime.
Dude, some of these games, like to see, their defense is just not there. To let even Campbell score 24, New Mexico State 24. I mean, UTEP's just so bad. I mean, they can't score more than 10 points. Havana. So yeah, it's tough for me. They still have the offense. That's what I circled. You hit on it. Was FIU's the run defense though? Like that's one thing Liberty should be able to do. They gave up 186. They haven't been very good for a couple of years now. They should be able to run it. And I've seen enough of Jenkins. He's been pretty clean though. He hasn't been awful. Like even that last game, that cover they had against La Tech, 17-10. Like if he does that and we get kind of this defense that I don't love this FIU defense too much either. But I could only take FIU. I'm not gonna just lay it here all of a sudden with Liberty. And maybe they show up and shine out. But this seems like they've been just cakewalking through that easy schedule and these easy wins so far. They come to play. Maybe they win by 4 touchdowns. I got to see some of it to believe it.
Don't forget about Liberty. This is actually a double bye week for them. They had their game canceled against App State last week because of the hurricane. So Hurricane Helene. And by the way, there's another one apparently roaring through Florida, and Hurricane Milton, I think is the name of it. We wish everyone well down there. It's doesn't sound good at this point in time for the folks in Florida. So Godspeed and stay safe. But I'll tell you what, Florida International, Liberty, didn't play last week. They have not played since September the 24th. September 21st, that game. So it's really, they've gone, I'm just looking at it here. They have gone, it'll be 2 full weeks since they have played here. No, actually, sorry. It'll be, a little over 2 weeks since they have played a game. So does rust maybe creep in a little bit? At this time of year, you're not used to going that long without playing, if you're Liberty. Meanwhile, Florida International did play last week, September the 28th against Louisiana Tech. What I might do is I've already taken Florida International full game. I might add a little first half with Florida International. Maybe especially out of the gate, Liberty is a little bit, because remember, they haven't played now since September 21st because that game against App State got canceled, got postponed. So from that standpoint, Connor, is Liberty maybe not quite sharp and on their game early in this one? Something to factor in, something to watch for.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think so. So that's definitely something. If you're watching that game Tuesday night, it's definitely one of those deals where watch early to see how sharp Liberty is. Because, again, teams aren't used to this many days between games at this stage of the season.